How many cold calls were you making?
How many was I supposed to make, or how many did I make?
How many are you supposed to make?
You're supposed to make 100 calls a day.
100 calls a day.
Yeah.
100 calls a day.
100 calls.
Did you
Sounds
get
exciting,
clients?
right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I got a few clients here and there.
Okay. Did you get good at sales?
Not particularly.
Not because it wasn't the passion.
It wasn't something I really enjoyed.
And how long did you do it for before you were like, okay, I'm gonna quit?
7 years.
Whoa! Wait! Welcome back, everybody, to Confronting the Impossible. My name is Leo Jacobs of Jacobs PC. I'll be your host for today with a very, very special friend and colleague, Mendy of Ironwood Capital CRE, and we're going to discuss his trials and tribulations of confronting the impossible. This podcast discusses what it means to be in your adversary's play and to overcome them, what it means to have objectives, face the impossible, and overcome them. And we're going to be discussing that today with Mendy. Mendy, it's a pleasure to have you today on my show, on my podcast. How are you? How you feeling? How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to be here.
I appreciate that,
having
Mendy.
me.
You're in the commercial real estate space, mainly from the lender side. But it wasn't always like that. So today I wanted to discuss with you what makes you tick, who you are, where you've been, and how you've defined confronting the impossible, what impossible means to you. But before we get into all that, tell me about yourself and tell me where you began.
So my journey in the commercial real estate space began at Eastern Union. I worked for Ira Zlotowicz, A. Bergman.
Shout out to Ira.
about 7 years. We started in 2002.
Okay.
With the opening of the office in Lakewood.
Okay. Wow, this is in the beginning. This is way
in the beginning. Really,
you started with him.
I started in the New Jersey office. I was from the beginning. From the starting brokers in Jersey.
Okay. How old were you at the time?
I was 26.
Wow.
At the time.
Wow.
Something like that. 26.
And you came out. You're like, I want to be a broker. How did that?
I did not want to be a broker. I wanted to get into commercial real estate. Interested me.
Okay.
It was my first gig, really doing anything.
Was your family in real estate, or
no? Not at all. My parents had invested as LPs a little bit in deals, nothing major.
So your family is a little bit in real estate,
slightly, nothing.
Okay. Where are you from?
Major.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Cleveland,
Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh wow! How long you lived there for?
I lived in Cleveland from the late '70s to the early '90s.
Okay.
I went to yeshiva in New Jersey in 1991.
I went to yeshiva too. Went to Bear Hagala till about 8th or 9th grade. I was in Ezra Academy before then. You went to yeshiva in Ohio.
And actually, no, I went to yeshiva in Edison, New Jersey. So listen, I lived in Cleveland even after that until the 90s and late 90s. But I was in yeshiva. So when I left the high school, pretty much I spent most of my time away. I was in yeshiva in Edison, New Jersey. Then I went to Israel. Okay. Came back, spent a couple of years in Lakewood. Got married.
But you were born in Ohio.
I was actually born in Queens.
Queens, where I'm born. I'm from Queens. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Queens. I lived there for 2 years.
Where in Queens?
We're in Queens. New Hyde Park. That's where my parents lived.
Okay, so some of my best friends are from New Hyde Park. Great neighborhood. Mm-hmm. It's becoming a lot more Jewish and Christian as well.
Right.
So you were born in Queens. How long were you living in Ohio for? When did you?
So we moved. My parents moved to Ohio in the late '70s, '79.
What was the impetus for that? What was the impetus?
My grandparents lived there, so they moved there. So that was it.
Okay.
And
when did you move back?
So when did I move back to Cleveland?
No, from Cleveland to New York.
So I went to yeshiva in the 90s in Edison, New Jersey, and I was there in high school and another year in Beis Medrash, post high school, and then went to learn in Israel for a couple of years, 2.5 years. Came back to, and then I went to study in Lakewood and BMG.
All right.
Beis Medrash Kavah. learned before I got married in 2001.
How old are you, man?
I was 24.
I got married when I was 25 years old. 24, 25 years old. I got
Nice.
2 kids. You?
I have 7 kids.
Wow. How many boys? How many girls?
6 boys and 1 girl.
6 boys and 1. And when did you have the girl?
She was number 2.
Number two?
Yeah, we lost the recipe for girls in 2003.
And now where do you live?
I live in Lakewood.
Lakewood. And you've been there since?
Been there ever since.
Okay. And you have a community there?
Nice community, and yeah.
Okay, very good. How were your holidays?
Holidays were great.
We just came out of Rosh Hashanah, Sukkot. For me, it was very, very long. Was it long for you? I mean, it was almost like stopping and going and stopping. It was very
Holidays
tough.
are great. The schedule this year was a little rough.
It was.
It was basically a 1.5 workday week for
1.5
month.
And when you were there, you couldn't even work 1.5 days. You're like, I can't wait till this is over and I get to Shabbat. So let's get back to the trail of Mendy. So you're hopping around between Cleveland and then Edison, New Jersey, and then now you live in Lakewood. You got married fairly young. You have 7 kids. And do you have any formal education in terms of like college?
No.
No. So after
School of Hard Knocks.
So after high school, what did you do? What was your first job? My job was a waiter. I was a waiter for 9 years of my life. What was your first job?
My first job was basically as a mortgage broker.
As a mortgage broker before Eastern Consolidated.
No, at Eastern Union. Eastern Union. Ira and Abe.
So you got married and you went straight to
No,
work.
I was in Shiva for a couple of years. I stayed to learn in Kollel for 2 years.
Okay. So Kollel's the
Then I
rabbi
needed to make
stuff,
a
right?
living.
The rabbi stuff?
The rabbi stuff.
The rabbi stuff, where you become a rabbi and you
learn, study the Talmud.
Talmud. Okay. So a true religious background. Religious background.
Our community, we like to, after you get married, spend a little time studying. Build a nice foundation.
I didn't know that.
And then you have a couple kids, and now you have to pay the bills. Right?
Okay.
So now you got to figure it out.
So who recommended you the brokerage stuff? Who recommended?
Just a friend of mine said, Ira's opening a shop here, new, commercial mortgage office.
Okay.
He said, "Why don't you give it a shot?" And I read.
And he was known. He was well known at the time.
I think he had just moved to Lakewood from Brooklyn. He had just opened his office. I think the office, the Brooklyn office at Eastern Union opened, I think in 2001. I think that's when he split. Is where he was originally.
Okay.
And then the New Jersey office opened in 2002, in December of 2002. And I knew nothing about anything in business or anything, and I just wanted, I needed to pay the bills, and I read his he has this book called The Ira Way. Have you ever read it?
I know. I
never. It's a nice, it's a good real estate training book. It's I would say like
what does it talk about?
Just everything. Just describes the real estate business and talks about finance.
Was he a visionary at the time in terms of what he wanted to?
He was always a visionary, Ira.
Yeah. We love Ira.
Absolutely.
So you interviewed with him.
I interviewed with him, and he hired me as a broker. And
so what did you do? What was your first day like? Tell me, if you can remember.
Cold calls.
Yeah. So tell me, did you get like a piece of paper? It was like 47,000 people.
We had a script. You had people you had to call. We called rent stabilized owners in New York City.
What was the cold call list? What did it consist of?
Just owners of real estate looking for. We were looking to finance their real estate. That was it.
That's it. Or finance or refinance.
Whatever.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
And
people that are looking for money. We had the sales pitch was, I have 5% money. What can I look at for you? It was like he had it very scripted. And you.
And you follow the script?
You follow this. Well, you try to follow the script. I don't really follow scripts, generally speaking.
Were you good at it? Was it you?
No, I was not very good at it. It wasn't me.
Tell me why.
And a part of it, I would say, is a little immaturity.
Okay.
Meaning, I think
you didn't understand what you were.
I think in sales, it's a numbers game. Like if you're trying to get business, and it's just about calling as many people as possible, and just putting it all out there, and just pitching your product. Right, and you just get enough people, and you speak to them, and you're confident, and you make your sales pitch you're going to get business, eventually.
So were you a salesperson? Did you like doing sales?
I'm not a salesperson. I didn't like in general, I didn't like the whole business of just calling people and offering them money and selling an interest rate. I feel like
it didn't go with what you were about.
Not really. No, I like thinking. I like to be creative, and I felt like
critical thinking and creativity.
Yeah.
And how did you learn it? Did you learn that in the process of? Did you learn that in the process of sales and doing your first job? What did you experience there? Because that's a pivotal moment for you. Because I'm assuming we're going to talk about a pivot, right? I'm assuming we're going to talk about a pivot now. So tell me about that time. Take me back to when you were making those cold calls. How many cold calls were you making?
How many was I supposed to make, or how many did I make?
How many you're supposed to make?
You're supposed to make 100 calls a day.
100 calls a day.
Yeah.
100 calls a day.
100 calls.
Did you
Sounds
get
exciting,
clients?
right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I got a few clients here and there.
Okay. Did you get good at sales?
Not particularly.
Not because it wasn't the passion.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't something I really enjoyed.
And how long did you do it for before you were like, okay, I'm gonna quit?
7 years.
Whoa! Wait!
So I worked with him. I worked for 7 years with Ira. So like a lot of the deals that I got my hands on. Yeah.
That's a while. That's a while. Why were you entrenched?
Why did I stay? Why did I stick around if I didn't like it?
Yeah, I mean, what? And this is beautiful that you said that, because a lot of people stay at jobs that they don't want to do. And I don't know, I'm being presumptuous here. Maybe it was because of family. Maybe it was because of obligations. What made you stay for 7 years? What made you stay for 7 years? If you had to think about it.
So I got business. I did not get business. I was able to do deals. I didn't love the fixed commodity part of the business. You're selling a business you're selling a product that anyone has, right? You're selling
I like that.
As a mortgage broker,
you're not special.
You're not special. I mean, listen, I eventually developed a little bit of a niche. I worked on deals that were a little creative, a little out of the box, not fixed income deals that required,
So early on you saw yourself organically treading into creativity.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I had the same type of feel. In law, you are, really sometimes a paper pusher, and a lot of law is paper pushing. There is creativity and negotiation a little bit, but I couldn't do residential petitions for getting people out or doing the tenant side, or doing transactions like residential transaction, even commercial transaction. I didn't see the creativity there. And organically, I also felt that I had to do something very, very challenging, very, very difficult. And that was my confronting the impossible. Really, confronting my impossible was learning about what I didn't like. And that caused probably a lot of anxiety as a young guy.
Sure.
My first job was doing sanitation violations.
Really?
Yeah, my first job was doing sanitation violations for Douglas Elliman. And they would, I would have a calendar of 100 sanitation violations, which were $35 a piece, and $100 a piece. And I would do DOT violations. I would have to learn what the sidewalk measurements of a sidewalk are,
really?
And dismiss things on notice and bullshit like that. And I got really good at it, but I didn't have a passion for it. And I would wake up very early and come home very late. And I said, I don't want to do this. So my confronting the impossible was, figuring myself out. And I figured myself out that I love the creative side of thinking. Sometimes we get too creative, by the way. Sometimes we get too creative, and we're like, okay, we got to get back into the rails, because if you veer out too much from a society, if you veer out too much out of the societal, rails, you're kind of alone. And I think that's where an entrepreneurship journey may begin. But nevertheless, it's not about me today. It's about you.
You start wondering, if I could just pick up on that.
Yeah.
You start wondering, okay, why isn't everybody else doing it? Maybe there's a reason they're not doing this, right?
Oh, you have those thoughts too, huh?
No. What I'm saying is that could be.
I know. I had that feeling.
No,
as well.
What you're saying is you don't want to veer from the normal, because and you start thinking, well, maybe the reason why nobody else is doing it this way is because it's not a good niche, right? Or niche. It's just not. You're not.
Well,
if it would be a smart thing, you start thinking it would be a smart thing. People would do that already.
But that's the issue where, you have to take a chance. You have to take a leap of faith. I mean, look, you've been on the track for 7 years. Tell me where you started veering off and like, okay, enough is enough. I've been doing it for a while. I got to go and do my thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure that creativity was brewing inside of you. Were you figuring yourself out in that process?
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me about that. What were you figuring out? What you're made out of, who you are, what were you figuring out?
Well, you want to differentiate yourself in anything, right? Because I felt like if everyone's doing the same exact thing, I need to be able to create some value. Like, why would someone want to be working with me versus working with someone else, another mortgage broker? So what I ended up doing was I started working on deals that were a little harder to finance, or a little a little more out of the box, or maybe a borrower who wasn't.
But why? Why did you do that?
Because I felt like I could create value if I could. Meaning, if I'm working on a borrower who has a challenging situation, or he's not able to get financing, he has a credit problem, he has an issue with a history, or his portfolio is a little sloppier, and he's not a great operator, but like he buys good real estate. Like, those were the things that I felt like, okay, not a lot of other mortgage brokers are going to be working on this kind of borrower, or they're going to just like say, you know what, I don't want to deal with this guy because it's a waste of my time. I felt, no, this is something that, like, if I could figure it out for them, then I become the go-to guy for that.